Oh, it makes a sound up. Okay. So today's just like an easy waking up, transitioning into life kind of class. So it should hopefully be fun. So we're gonna just start out in a comfortable seat. I welcome you to prop your hips up on a pillow or a blanket. I don't have any near me, but if you do, I recommend trying that. We're just gonna take a breath in, and at the same time as taking a breath in with our hands on our knees, we're gonna straighten our elbows as much as we can, squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears and feeling our spine get super long. And on an exhale, we'll just allow the shoulders to run down the back. Another inhale, and we'll straighten the elbows. Let the shoulders come up towards the ears. Try not to lean back here. Try to just keep your spine straight up and down. Breathing in here. And on an exhale, allow your shoulders to run down your back, squeezing together. One final round of that. Inhaling, shoulders up towards the ears. Exhaling, shoulders come down the back. And we're going to, if you want to, take the right hand on the belly and the left hand on the heart. And then if you're comfortable closing the eyes, close the eyes here. And we're just going to really feel our heartbeat in the left hand and breathe into the right hand. Inhaling and exhaling. Just beginning to tap into the breath and notice where you're at today. Notice if you have a little headache or if you're hungry or a little sore in the legs or the arms or the back. Take a minute here to really check in with how your body feels today. And as you do that, just observe how you feel without judgment. So allow it to be kind of objective. Feeling the hand being filled up with air as we breathe in. Exhaling, feeling the navel drawing in towards the spine. Slowly allow whatever's happened so far in your day to just run off your back like water. Shed the layers of stress or anxiety or thoughts about the future. Imagine that every thought that comes into your head right now is like a song on the radio, and you can just turn that knob down until you don't hear it anymore. And just really allow this next minute or so to be about you, grounding into yourself, spending time on yourself. No need to fulfill expectations from anybody else right now. If you want, you can slowly take the hands to the knees and just continue breathing and focusing on the sensation of breath as it enters and exits the body for just about 5 more breaths, maybe 30 seconds. So I'll just be quiet and let you focus on your breath. Softening the muscles of the face, softening the jaw and the forehead. With every inhale, feeling the crown of your head creeping towards the sky. With every exhale, feel yourself really grounding down and getting heavy through the hips here. Just 1 or 2 more breaths. And then we're going to take the hands in prayer at heart center. Bow the chin to chest with the eyes still closed. Take a moment here to just think of something you'd like to work on. Maybe it is speaking with more kindness in your day-to-day, and that means towards yourself too, or maybe it's getting outside more, or whatever, just something small you're trying to work on. And with your hands at heart center, your eyes closed, just imagine that thing already done. And we'll take 1 more inhale here, holding it at the top. And then we'll exhale through the mouth and slowly blink the eyes open. We'll interlace the fingers and make a couple circles with the fingers, just stretching up the wrists, reversing direction if you can. It's kind of a fun brain trick to try. And then maybe you unlace the fingers and relace them with the opposite pinky on top this time and continue those circles. I'm going to take the hands to the knees. Just exhale, allow your right ear to come towards your right shoulder, keeping your back nice and straight. Just a gentle neck stretch. If you're like, that's nice, but I could go deeper, maybe you take the left fingertips and reach them towards the ground, but reach them far enough away from you that you can't actually reach the ground, if that makes sense. So allowing an inch of space or so between your fingertips and the ground. Breathe into here, and maybe you gently tilt your chin up super slowly in super slow motion, and tilt your chin down just a couple times. Feeling your neck today. Remembering to stay soft in the face. And we'll inhale, come back to center. And exhale, left ear comes towards left shoulder. Pause here and really check in and be like, is this enough for me? And if it isn't, maybe you take those right fingertips and stretch them out towards the ground. Allow yourself to tilt the chin up and down a couple times if that felt good on the other side. No pressure to do it just because I offer it. That is the beauty of the home practice, because there's really no pressure on you to do anything that doesn't feel good. We'll move the head back to center. And then we're just going to take the left foot and stretch it out away from us. You can keep the knees super bent if your hamstrings feel a little extra tight today. We'll let the right foot come in towards the left inner thigh. And we'll inhale and just get tall here. And on an exhale, we'll take the right fingertips outside the right thigh. Inhale and take the left hand up and over. You can take a prop and put it beneath your right hand if you want to. Pausing in this side stretch, remembering to flex the toes of the left foot. Keep a bend in the knee if that's how this pose feels good for you today. And from here, we're just going to make a couple big circles with that left arm, encouraging some blood flow into that rotator cuff and reversing the circles. Imagining almost a mini back bend happening here. Great. And then on an exhale, we'll take the left hand and plant it on the inside of the left knee. We'll inhale, take the right hand up and over, scooping air. And exhale, take a side bend to the other side. And it is so okay if you're like here and this is your deep side bend right now. Just go as far as feels good for you today. And then we'll take a few more of those big arm circles, really feeling out the corners of that shoulder. Reverse the circle. Remembering to breathe here. And then on an exhale, we'll take the right fingertips outside the right leg again. Inhale, side stretch with the left arm coming up over. We'll exhale and take that left hand on the inside of the left leg. Inhale, take the right arm up and over. So we're just doing sort of a gentle ballerina-esque tick-tock here. Inhale, take the right fingertips out towards the right, left side bend. Exhaling, taking left fingertips down to the left, right side bend. Two more of these. Inhaling to the right. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling to the right. You can even try taking the fingertips of the left hand to the back of the head here. Exhaling to the left, and same thing. Feel free to try taking the back of the head to the fingertips. Great. We're going to scoot the hips back a little bit and turn towards those left toes. Remembering you can keep the leg as straight or bent as you feel comfortable doing. We'll inhale to get tall here. And then exhale, focus on that left big toe with your eyes. And imagine that you're pulling yourself towards that left toe with your gaze primarily. Keeping the back nice and flat here. We're just going to gently walk the fingertips forward until we feel a stretch in the leg. You can feel free to use a strap here if that helps you. You can sit against a wall. And then here, we're just going to sway back and forth, keeping our eyes focused on that left big toe. You can inhale and straighten your elbows again here. And then exhale, bend the elbows, folding over that leg a little more deeply. If you're super open today and you want to, you can reach towards those the left arch of, or the arch of the left foot with your hands and just give yourself a little mini foot massage here. Just pulling on the toes actually one by one. Sinking into this, staying here for a little bit longer because we just want to really give that hamstring a chance to warm into the stretch. And then we'll inhale, slowly come up. We're going to take kind of a fun little creative move here. Take the right hand behind the right hip. So in front and behind of the right knee. And then on an inhale, we are going to activate through the glutes, press the hips up in space, and come on to the sole of the left foot and the shin bone of the right leg. Allow those left fingertips to reach up and over. And come into this funky little mini back bend thing. Opening out through the hips, inhaling here, and exhaling, coming back to center. Great. We're going to take the hands on either side of the right knee and just walk them straight forward here, keeping the hips grounded, just for a very subtle, nuanced little hip stretch here. We'll come back to center. We'll take that right knee up and into the chest, hug it into the chest. And we'll just pulse that right knee with the left elbow. Take the right fingertips behind us. Inhale to get tall here. And exhale, look behind us. Inhale to get tall here. And exhale, looking behind us. A gentle twist. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll move back through center. And then we'll stretch both legs out. Come into a wide-legged pose. We'll inhale to get tall here. And then crawl the fingers forward, taking a wide-legged forward fold. Your legs can be this far apart if this feels like a deep stretch to you. But just take a wide-legged forward fold that works for you. We'll sway here. More of a transition pose than the meat of the practice, but it's still nice to feel it out. You can try taking the left palm to the top of the left thigh and just pressing away from that left hip. And then same thing on the right side if that feels good. Great. And then we're going to take the left heel in towards the right leg. Begin our tick-tock side stretches once again. So we're going to inhale, take the right fingertips up, scooping air up and over as we plant the left fingertips towards the left. Side stretch here. And we'll take a couple circles with the rotator cuff, reversing the circles, feeling what muscles in your back are activated through this. And then on an inhale, we will take the right fingertips on the inside of the right knee. Exhale, left hand comes up and over. We take our circles. Exhale, left fingertips come out towards the left. Inhale, right fingertips come over. Inhale, we switch to the right side. Left hand up and over. Exhaling. Inhaling, left fingertips to the left, right fingertips up and over. Exhaling, right fingertips to the right, left fingertips coming up and over. Just two more like that. Following your breath to the left. And following your breath to the right. Beautiful. You can maybe take the fingertips of of the left hand to the back of the head here, bending the elbow, and exhale opposite side. Same little move there. Great. We'll come back to center. Pull the hips back a little bit so we can look straight towards the right big toe. We'll inhale to get tall here, and exhale, just crawl, inchworm your way forward. And notice, here's a great time to notice the difference between the right and left sides. So how does this feel different in your left hip versus your right? Maybe you reach towards that right foot, grab the arch of the right foot, just massage your foot a little bit if you are flexible enough to just reach your foot. If not, stay wherever you feel comfortable, but challenged. Keeping the back nice and flat. Coming back to that breath practice we did at the beginning of class. So just really focusing on the breath and allowing the volume of your thoughts to be turned down until all you hear is your breath. If you sway from side to side here, if you straighten and bend the elbows a few times, notice if this is more of a hip stretch or a hamstring stretch for you. And we're slowly going to crawl back up. We'll sweep the left fingertips in front of the left knee. Plant the hand behind the left hip, maybe a foot or two behind the left hip. There's no math there, but just, about that far behind the left hip. We'll plant the palm, and on an inhale, we'll activate through the glutes, press the hips up, climb onto the sole of the right foot and the shin of the left leg. Stretching those right fingertips up and over, looking behind us, pressing those hips towards the sky, pressing that pelvis towards the sky. Inhale, and we'll exhale, come back down. We're going to take the fingertips on either side of this left knee and walk them straight out from that left knee, seeing if we get a little bit of a stretch here today. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And we'll walk our way back into center. Take that left sole, take that left foot to the ground, that left knee into the chest. We'll inhale to get tall here. Exhale, taking the right elbow and holding the left knee with it. Take the left fingertips behind you to get tall. And exhale, look behind you for a twist. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Great. We're going to do a little bit of core work. So, keep your hands behind you. Come on to the butt. Straighten through the back. And before we do our core work actually here, you can take the fingertips of the face away from you. Walk the feet a little farther forward. Walk the hips towards the feet. And inhale, arc the back here, opening the heart. And this should give you a really deep stretch in the shoulders, pulling the shoulder blades behind you and close together on the back. Looking gently up towards the sky, breathing into this here. You can take your hips farther towards your feet or farther away from your feet, depending on how deep of a stretch you want here. And then we'll slowly walk the hips back to where they were. And we're just going to lean back. You can have your hands behind you, or you can have them in front of you. Come into your boat pose. You can start with the toes on the ground, or you can slowly let the shins hover up until they're parallel with the earth. Holding this here, allowing just some heat to build in the stomach. And if this is like enough for you that you're like sweating and huffing and puffing, stay there. But if you want to try a little challenge, maybe you press away from the body with the right toe, straightening the right knee. Pull in towards the body with the left knee. Hold this and exhale. Come down to the ground, pulling the left knee into the chest We'll meet here, no matter where you were in your boat. We'll inhale and exhale, right hand on left knee, take a twist. The left knee comes across the right body. We stretch out that left hand and look towards the left palm. Breathing into this. We'll exhale, come back to center, hugging that left knee into the chest. And for like a fun little challenge, we're going to keep that left knee bent, keep the right hand stretched out to either side of it. And on an inhale, we're going to see if we can just come into a boat pose from the ground, but keep that left knee hugging in towards the chest. So 3, 2, 1. See if you can just come into a boat, keeping that left knee in. And if you're like, that's impossible, it's impossible today, but keep at it and maybe it'll be possible one day. So we're going to switch the legs here. You can always have the arms on the ground behind you for a little modification here. We're going to switch the knees, pulling the right knee into the chest this time. We're going to hold this for 3, 2, 1, and then we'll take the right knee into the chest, lay down on the ground, and then using the left hand on the right knee, we'll drag that right knee across the left body, stretch out the left hand, look towards it. We'll breathe into the chest. Supine twist. Sending deep breaths into your belly. The exhale, soften. We'll inhale, come back to center, and another opportunity for that challenge. Looking towards that right knee, keeping it bent. Stretch the hands out to either side. And on an inhale, see if you can just rocket yourself up into that boat pose with the right knee coming in towards the belly. And here we're just going to do a little bit of a bicycle move here. So feel free to take the hands out behind you if you feel like you want that modification today. If not, we're just going to bend and straighten the knees, seeing if we can maintain our balance here. Super challenging, but super beneficial. We're going to just keep this going, these bicycles, for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll over the knees and come onto our belly here. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, take the hands in front of us, lifting the chest off the ground. We're going to exhale, swim the fingertips behind you, imagining you're reaching towards the back of the room, peeling that chest off the ground. And then we're going to try to take the feet together and lift them off the ground too. Squeezing through the glutes in the back. We're going to see if we can hold this or some variation of it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. Make a pillow with your forearms and allow your head to come to rest on your forearms. We can shift the hips from side to side here. And then if you want to, maybe you allow the inner thigh of the left leg to come to the ground and draw that left leg up. Sort of something that you would just do when you're laying in bed, maybe like relaxing. But it also is actually kind of a nice hip stretch. If this is not intense enough for you, really work to ground the hips towards the ground, both hips towards the ground, and that should give you a nice stretch in the inner thigh. Or if it's too much for you or too intense in the knee, maybe you allow the hips to kind of come off the ground, like just be on the right hip. Just experiment with this because we're going to stay here for about 3 breaths. Just sort of in a nice restorative, cozy posture. Coming back to the breath. Turning the volume down on your thoughts. And then we'll take both feet behind us. And do the same thing on the other side. Just letting that right knee come out and up. Keeping the inner right thigh and the inner calf on the ground. Adjust your hips like how how much pressure you're putting in that right hip to come to the ground based off of how you feel here. And we'll just pause here. And also, if taking the knee up is not doing it for you, feel free to just have both your legs out behind you and making a pillow with your hands. We'll be here for about 3 breaths. Excellent. And then on the inhale, we're going to press ourselves up onto the knees. You can have your toes tucked under if you want here, or leave them flat on the ground. And here is an option for camel pose. You can start, if you want to, by clasping the fingers behind you and letting them slowly draw closer and closer to the ground, working their way down the legs, pressing hips forward. Hips are directly above the knees, activating through the glutes, and inhaling, allowing that upper back to take a gentle bend. If that's too much for you, maybe you start with the hands at heart center. Wherever you are, inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, take the child's pose. We're gonna repeat that 2 more times, so don't feel pressured to go into your deepest back bend ever just now. Taking our child's pose, inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, we're gonna climb back up. And this time, maybe you take the hands to the low back. Fingertips can be facing down towards the ground. Or if you have flexible wrists and want to try this, maybe you take the fingertips and let the middle fingers point up the back, taking the palms to the low back. And imagine that you're pulling down with the hands. Inhale here, get tall. Exhale, press the hips forward, engage through the glutes. And take another little back bend here. Breathing into the chest, opening the heart out. And then slowly inhale, come up. And exhale, take a child's pose. Feel free to take a wide-legged child's pose here if you want to, touching the big toes together and taking the knees wide apart. Breathe here. And inhale. Come up on the knees for 1 more time. And here's where only try this if you feel comfortable in your back bends. Like if the last 2 have felt pretty good to you, then maybe go for this. But if they felt a little weird or unstable, maybe skip the back bend or just do something you've done already before that feels comfortable. But we're going to tuck the toes under. We'll inhale here, pressing the hips forward. Knees are hip width apart, engaging through the glutes. And we're going to reach behind us with the left fingertips and see if we can touch the back of that left heel. And we're going to reach behind us with the right fingertips and see if we can touch that right heel. And we're going to inhale, press the hips forward, press the belly forward, take full camel pose here. Stop at any point if this is yucky in the spine or if you feel lightheaded. 1 more breath here. Then we'll inhale, come back up. And we'll exhale, come into our child's pose super slowly. You can have the fingertips towards the front of the mat, or you can allow them to rest towards your feet at either side. You can rock back and forth on the forehead a couple times, rock the hips back and forth a couple times. And we're going to just take 5 slow breaths here today, feeling the skin of the back move as we fill the lungs with air. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, focusing on your breath. And exhaling. Inhaling, feeling the belly pressing against the thighs. And exhaling. Inhaling, coming back to that intention we set at the beginning of class, that thing we'd like to work on. And exhaling, imagining it already done. Inhaling, feeling the temperature of the breath in your nose. Exhaling, noticing the temperature in your nose. Wonderful. We'll slowly, if you took the fingertips towards the feet, take the fingertips towards the front of the room one more time. Rock back and forth on the hips a couple times. And then we'll, like we're moving through molasses, come on to our easy seat once again. The hands at heart center, maybe the eyes are still closed. And we'll just pause here, feeling the blood draining back into the body. Taking a moment to give thanks to yourself for making time to practice today, for making time to just focus on taking care of yourself. We'll take one more deep breath in. And slowly exhale out, bow forward. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. Blink the eyes open.